Oh, the vaccines. That was interesting. That was really cool. I like that a lot. So I think I'll read another piece of fiction that's not ready to be read. This one's long, so I might just cut it short. I don't know. Whatever. This is like based on the same character that I've read on this program before. I've written about several times. But yeah. Anyways. Also untitled. Okay. Excuse me. He was born with a caul and a conflict over his head. He was a presence, to say the least, then and now. Then with a slice of birth membrane draping over one eye like the hat of an actress riding a train in the 1940s. Now with this frame of nearly 300 pounds and the illusion of height that width perpetuates, even though he was under 5.5 feet. Whether his girth and, for the lack of a less hackneyed expression, awkwardness could be boiled down to habit or overactive glands, he maintained the dignity of the struggle with which he was christened upon leaving the womb with his viscous beret. He would live in a great way, even if it meant living in discomfort with his frame and a hard-on that lasted over 2 decades. Gordon was suicidal from the ages of 8 to 12.5. At 8, he heard officially from his pediatrician that he was officially morbidly obese, and he of course asked what morbidly meant. But at 12 he discovered passion in acting, specifically in minor television roles with 0 to 1 lines. He was short enough to stand more or less beside Tom Cruise on the L platform in the city for the upcoming psychological thriller from Universal Studios. He didn't see the film until he was deemed old enough by the meek and circumspect Daisy, but he would, for the next 2 years, chase the ghost, so to speak, of the first exhilarative high of playing an extra on film. What Gordon did not realize at the time was the low demand for morbidly obese characters, extra or otherwise, on film, and that he was hastily chosen off of the street a block from the Brown Line platform. Gordon was in the city to see Santa Claus at the former Marshall Field's present Macy's, out of tradition, not belief. Because of an odd drought of good-looking short people, and the set was set to wrap the following day. That was a tough sentence. And that there was, surprisingly enough, a significant constituency in most major cities, not the least of Chicago or even L.A., of rotund actors, both wannabe mainstream and extra, a surplus of them, in fact. So demand was low. But Gordon was now living for one thing, and one thing only. He was at both his trough and his peak, leading an existence of true toiling but honed towards an inspiring, difficult, and yet marginally possible telos, honed like a heat-seeking missile. Essence preceded economy. After the spot in the Tom Cruise film, Gordon faced, as expected according to the numerous Google searches he conducted on the subject, rejection after rejection after rejection from talent agencies and producers hosting short, on-site of scene tryouts in early morning of shooting. He momentarily lost heart when he was turned away from the public access evangelical Christian teen radio show Think With Your Heart, on the grounds that of his physical appearance, according to the tactless producer, strangely enough belying his now absent father's frequent jab that Gordy had a body for radio. But he was not prepared to take "you're too fat" for an answer to his great ontological question. The concluding months of Gordon's interest in background acting were the most fervently driven. He had all but officially dropped out of middle school as per state regulation. He was too young to actually do so. But in his failure to complete any homework or long-term projects, and his frequent but always excused by his mother due to faked or exaggerated illness, absences, repeating the arguably superfluous 8th grade was becoming a likely course of action for the school administrators. Gordon's mother was concerned, of course, but not enough to actively try to get Gordon to go to school and do his work. There was an incremental shift in Gordon's sick day activity, beginning with 12 or so hours of daytime television, which he somehow managed to find such programs, Wheel of Fortune, Judge, whomever, well into the early to mid-evening, and eventually becoming only 4 hours of daytime TV that were really just comprised of 2 or 3 breaks and his day-long rehearsal for coming auditions. Law & Order, Special Victims Unit, A Spot as an Orphan with a line of dialogue in a soup kitchen scene spoken directly to Mariska Hargitay and Christopher Maloney. I'm going to keep going. The day of the audition was Monday at the O'Hare Ramada in Conference Room C, beginning at 7 a.m., sign-in at 5:30 a.m. Gordon was out the door of his condo by 4:45. He was among the first to sign in, not the first to his borderline obsessive discomfort, though. He had become a Buddhist in recent months and stepped into the empty Conference Room D next door to meditate. The door was unlocked and the room was dark, save a crack of light along the false wall partitioning D from C, now occupied by only 4 chairs, a table, empty coffee, and water urns. Gordon could not sit half lotus without a wall supporting his back. He closed his eyes and repeated his mantra, "Thank God for the light, invite the dark in for tea." His breath was even, his voice low in a pitch and volume, but clear in diction. He was tired but not fatigued, actually quite sprightly for a larger man. He mindfully felt the individual hairs, autonomous in their prickly itch, sprouting from his face and forming his thin goatee, trimmed that morning. Gordon had recently grown it in a boast of his newfound capability. His weight and penchant towards sedentarism left him with an excess of estrogen, or possibly a dearth of testosterone. As Gordon floated towards his mind center in a state of sort of waking sleep, sensuously dulled but profoundly aware, his eyelids, acting as a projection screen for floating hexagons of dust, without warning, turned a bright, fleshy color. The light of the conference room D had been turned on. Gordon was startled but kept his eyes shut for a beat, slowly opening them right then left so as to avoid the visual disorientation of a suddenly bright room. To his right, standing in the doorframe, was a young woman in black wire glasses, about his own age, with frizzy, permanently crimped brunette hair tied into a loose ponytail and by an unfolded rubber band. She wore a taupe pantsuit with a matching shirt and sheeny necktie. "Gordon!" "Christine?" This song's called Whitby. It's a new song by Octopus Project. Check it out. That was Whitby by the Octopus Project, Whitby. I spell it out because you guys should check it out on YouTube. It's a really good music video. And I just played it from YouTube and I watched the video as it was playing. Well, that's about it. It's 12:27 Central Standard Time. And I think I handled that well. I was alone in the studio today. I didn't know what I was going to talk about until a few minutes before I went on. But I'm a professional, and I'm very interesting, so it went well. Oh, man. This facade of confidence does not hold up. I'm fooling no one. I hate myself. Nope, just kidding. Okay, well, thanks for listening, everybody. Yeah, that's it. Next week I won't be here, so whatever. And then the next week I will. So listen in 2 weeks. And it's Steve Sullivan and the Factory is this song. It's called $5,000. Thank you.